Holy crap. Yeah, the newest episode from Dragon Ball Daima was a pleaser. It's probably the best episode I think they've put out so far. There was crazy amounts of action, even if it was just, it felt short, but it felt so intense compared to what we've been getting. The animation was super crisp, the sequencing was amazing, there was even some time for some jokes, and we got some of the biggest lore drops ever. So I'm going to do my normal breakdown review and everything you might have missed. This is essentially your spoiler warning, and right before we get into it, if you like the content, like the video, and if you love the content, think about subscribing because we are this close to 1,000 and every bit helps. So let's hop into the breakdown and review. So continuing the trend of just the episode starting where the last one left off, Goku and Tamagami 3, they start fighting and they immediately start going at it, and you see some really cool sequencing. Like he throws his hammer at Goku and Goku dodges it and he recalls it like Thor, and Goku has to dodge it on the backswing. So you've got lots of cool things like that. Goku does use his size to outmaneuver. Like there's a point where he goes over the Tamagami's head, he goes between the Tamagami's legs, he attacks his ankles with the power pole, and then like the Tamagami falls over, you know. He's really starting to get used to his reach and how he now needs to fight being child size. So it's just pretty cool to see. I'm going to talk about this fight, but you just need to see the episode. Like, it is so clean. These pictures that go across the screen do not do it full justice. But the Tamagami is also sentient. We thought, like, a lot of people thought they were just gonna be robots, but like when Goku's like, bring it, the Tamagami's like, not bad, and then Goku's like, bring it, and then they start fighting again. So the Tamagami actually not only is sentient, but he's enjoying the challenge. He likes the fight. So they keep fighting, and there's this point where the Tamagami throws the hammer at Goku, and Goku puts the Nyobo between the like this rock face and the hammer, and he's about to get crushed. Like the power pole is the only thing keeping him from getting like crushed at that point. So he goes Super Saiyan, and after he goes Super Saiyan and he pushes the hammer back, he ends up flipping over it and using the power pole to break the handle off the hammer, and it falls to the ground. And the Tamagami is just looking at him like, And when this happens, Goku puts away his power pole and opts to fight hand to hand. He wants this to be a fair fight, and I love this. So they start fighting hand to hand, and shortly into that part of the fight, the Tamagami starts shooting what I can only assume, since it's Demon World, to be magic blasts out of his hand, like ki. And that's when Goku goes, oh, so you can do that too? And he starts firing ki blasts. So you can see that Goku is not only just having fun, he's keeping pace with the Tamagami. He doesn't want any unfair advantages. He used weapons while the Tamagami had weapons. He put his pole away once he broke the hammer. He only used ki blasts once the Tamagami used ki blasts. And it's just a really cool fight. So going back to this, you have like Goku trying to match the Tamagami, Glorio looking at the fight, looking kind of like, you know, still just sus in general. And then you have the Tamagami trying to take it up a notch. He steams like Majin Buu for a split second, like, you know, when Fat Buu got mad and the steam came out. He does that, and he puts his hands to the ground. He does like an earthbreaker, like what Frieza did at the end of Revival with F, just shoots ki into the ground and starts blowing it up. And when this happened, Goku was like, oh, so it's like that? And so he starts his Kamehameha. So he ends up firing off this Kamehameha, and it's the Kamehameha that we saw in the trailer. Looks beautiful, the lead up to it, the firing of it, the frames they hold on it, amazing. And then the Tamagami gets up and tries to like shoot his own blast, and he ends up catching Goku's Kamehameha, and it pins him up against like a mountain, and Goku's just letting this thing rip. So the Tamagami is stressed, he's getting pressed up, and then when the Tamagami is about to like kind of deflect it, Goku powers into Super Saiyan 2. You see the static coming around his body while he's firing the Kamehameha, and the Tamagami digs deep and he throws the Kamehameha up, and it goes up, and Goku takes this opportunity to shoot forward, close the distance, and elbow, like straight elbow, the Tamagami in the stomach. And while this is all happening, everybody is just so crazed. Like, they're watching this fight, they're like, holy crap, we've never seen somebody come this far, and Goku's just pushing it to the limit. So it was awesome. So after getting elbowed in the stomach, the Tamagami drops down, he goes, yo, no more, I submit. Like, and then Goku's surprised, he's like, wait, really? And the Tamagami's like, yeah, there's no point. Like, I can see the measure of your strength. There's no point in me fighting you. Like, you got this. So Goku's like, okay, bet. Can I have the Dragon Ball? And the Tamagami says, no, there's a final battle that has to happen. So, much to be in, like, you know, the joking fashion, the Tamagami is just trying to have a little test where he puts the Dragon Ball under the cups and he starts moving them around, but he ends up throwing out the Dragon Ball at high speed later, and Goku, like, tracks it. And I could see that happening. Goku, the Z Fighters fight at a speed where they're keeping tracks of punches and kicks going faster than this guy's moving these cups around. So Goku would be able to see that and track that easily. So it is what it is. But after finding out the trick and being like, yo, the Dragon Ball's back there, it's not in any cup, the Tamagami was like, okay, bet, it's yours. And so, yeah, he basically gives Goku the Dragon Ball, and Goku, you know, he has like a bento, stacks of bentos, like made by the village of Majin, and he pretty much is ready to go, right? So they're walking back to the ship, and Glorio actually takes a call. He's bold. He takes a call from Arensu when they're close to that. And Arensu is like, okay, so everything's going according to plan, right? And Glorio's like, yeah. And she's like, wow, this is going real smooth. I guess I should enact my main plan. Keep me posted if anything else happens. And Glorio hangs up. So we have this really crazy shift now, because now that you know that Arensu is actively aware that they're getting the Dragon Balls and Glorio is working for Arensu, Arensu wants the Dragon Balls. And this is crazy because when you go back to one of the earlier episodes, Goku was like, why don't we just wish to save Dende? And Glorio was like, no, we gotta save Dende in person, because yeah, you don't even know if he's gonna be alive. We have to confirm he's alive and we gotta save him. And then you can use the Dragon Balls to, you know, make yourselves like wish back or something like that to normal size. But now I really do think that the reason why he did that is because if they take the Dragon Balls to the palace to save Dende, they're taking the Dragon Balls to Arensu, who can steal them and then make her wish. So Glorio is definitely not a good guy. I'm starting to just lean more and more the fact that it's not even like he's a misguided hero or something. Like, this dude is not exactly like on the up and up, and I need to know how this plays out. So yeah, you now have this crazy little bit, right? After you have the Arensu Glorio conversation and the crew is leaving and Pansy is just like, bro, he is so strong, and Shin's like, yeah, it kind of be like that. You now have this moment where Goma and Degesu are still looking at the highlight reels for the Majin Buu saga. And one thing they see is after the final explosion from Vegeta, where Fat Buu has to piece himself back together again, they find Arensu in the distance at the edge of the crater, and she's pocketing pieces of Majin Buu. So she is literally taking pieces of him to do some sort of experiment with. And this is like a callback to earlier when we found out that Arensu had already been to Universe 7 during the Buu saga without anybody knowing. So that's pretty cool. But then we get even more of a lore drop, and this part is crazy. So Arensu is kind of like a scientist, but she's kind of like a witch. She rides a flying hookah. I've seen a lot of people going like, I don't know what she's on. It's like a broomstick. That's a hookah thing. If you smoke hookah, you know exactly what it is. The mouthpiece where you draw on the smoke. It's got a saucer at the top where you have the shisha, so you can put the coals around it, or the ash from the coals fall down on it. That's a hookah. She's riding a hookah. So anywho, she's riding a hookah like a flying broomstick, and she goes into a room where there's a cauldron and a witch, and she refers to the witch as Marba. And it's crazy because Marba basically just looks like a frumpy witch, but she has a Majin symbol on her stomach, on her dress. And through conversation, you find that they are trying to make a new artificial Majin. And the last artificial Majin we've seen is indeed Majin Buu. He is not a natural demon. He was a creation. He's an artificial Majin. And that is crazy. So we are basically just seeing that Arensu is trying to make a Majin Buu level threat. But the plot thickens even further. You have this witch, like Marbu, trying to help her make this Majin, when a massive bombshell is dropped, and Arensu drops that Marbu made Majin Buu, and that it wasn't Bibbidi. Bibbidi came to her. Bibbidi did not have the talent to make Majin Buu. And the witch at first denies it, but then she goes on to say that Majin Buu was a failure because he couldn't be controlled. he couldn't be controlled and he would fall into like uncontrollable frenzies. And then Arensu also kind of brings in like more lore in this conversation, stating that he went on a rampage and threw the demon realm into chaos, and that it forced the Glen to flee the demon realm. And that is crazy lore, because we knew that Majin Buu absorbed a whole bunch of Glen, but we did not know that Majin Buu forced them out of their initial homeland. We just thought that like he was just wrecking people's booty cheeks on like the Kai planet or something. So this is crazy lore. To meet the creator of Majin Buu this casually, just like this, was insane. But yeah, Marbu says that Majin Buu was a fluke, and Marbu just says that like, yeah, like that is what it is. Like I like it was a unfortunate mistake because he didn't do as he was intended. So they're trying to make another Buu, and on top of that, she is trying to focus on it being controllable, to the point where she asked to finish this. They talked about previous attempts, so there's failures apparently, because Arensu was like, the other Majin couldn't even beat me. So this already shows that she may not be Majin Buu powerful, but she's still powerful enough to defeat a Majin Buu-esque threat. Now, they are chasing the strength of Majin Buu, so it definitely seems like Majin Buu is the goalpost that they're reaching for. But at the same time, you now have this point where Marbu asks for Arensu's spit into the concoction so that she can talk to the Majin without having to speak. So they have a telepathic bond, and it can help with the control. So they're really kind of diving in on this. And then on top of that, you have this moment where they're talking about motives, and Arensu reveals that she wants to rule over Demon World. That is her ambition. She wants to be the Supreme Demon King. And past that, you have Marbu saying, hey, despite how he looks, Goma is strong. Now, this is a very important part to me, because we keep looking at Goma as a joke character, but the fact that the creator of Majin Buu is saying, hey, Goma is no pushover, is the second time we have heard somebody straight up say that Goma looks stupid, but he is not weak. And so that is going to be something that we're gonna have to see, whether he has a transformation or he uses magic. If he gets into a serious fight, I'm assuming he's going to probably have a transformation, because he looks too goofy right now. That's just it. But you have this happening, and they're clearly making another Majin, and that is just crazy. And that's when Marbu says, hey, yeah, Goma's dangerous, he's strong. Arensu's like, well, if things don't go exactly my way, I'll use the Dragon Balls. And Marbu's like, well, people can get the Dragon Balls because of the Tamagami. And she's like, don't be so sure. I have pawns in place, and I already have one. And it shows the Dragon Ball that Goku has. So she is using Goku via Glorio to collect the Dragon Balls. So yeah, there's schemes on schemes on schemes on schemes. And then the last page of my notes, basically it goes back to Vegeta, Piccolo, Bulma, and Hydas. And they're hearing from King Caden that the Dragon Ball has been gotten, that they need to rendezvous, but it's a celebration night, you know? And Vegeta's like, wait, Demon Realm has Dragon Balls too? And then Hydas is like, Earth has Dragon Balls too? And then Vegeta's like, tell me more. And just gets met with silence. And then he's like, hey, what's up? And then Hydas turns around and is like, you're not even a king, and yet you're so arrogant. So I started ignoring you. And Hydas is just so hilarious. Like, this dude is actually just a G. And Vegeta gets so humbled. He gets so mad. Bulma's laughing at him. And so he asks, could you tell me more, please? And that's pretty much where the episode ends. So when it comes down to it, this episode was crazy, crazy, crazy. Those are all the details that I worked in. Essentially, the episode had about half an episode of fighting, and that fighting was amazing. We got to see so much good choreography, animation, sequencing, and it was really cool seeing the Tamagami actually be like a sentient being that likes to fight, who seems to have integrity. He says he likes Goku because Goku's a straightforward fighter, and as Goku's leaving, you literally get to see Tamagami 3 practicing Kamehameha, like off in the distance before he starts waving. It's just like, it's hilarious, it's cute. So you really do have all these things, and it was just so awesome to see. So I definitely was having a great time with this episode. Goku popping Super Saiyan 2 and then being like, it just shows that they're speeding up that getting used to his body gimmick. So we might see 3 soon enough. And then I'm super excited. And if we have like 15-ish episodes left of this, estimated, this is going to get really intense because the Tamagami are clearly just side bosses. They're mini bosses. It's going to, they're being beat by flashing Super Saiyan 2 and they're giving up handily. Maybe Tamagami 3 is the weakest one, but it seems like they're going to be side bosses. And in reality, it looks like we're gearing up to have the second coming of Majin Buu. And we're also going to have Goma apparently being a threat too. And even if they beat the Majins, it seems like Arensu and Glorio might be a thing. Like, what if Glorio gets like some sort of Majin Buu hybrid onto him? There's so many options and we don't know where this is going, but I am super excited because there's plots on plots on plots. So I'm assuming that in the next 5 episodes we'll probably be done. 4 or 5 episodes we'll probably be done with the Tamagami. No, I think probably the next 6 episodes we'll probably be done with the Tamagami, but then we're gonna start moving on to like the new Boo, eventually Goma. But this is really giving a lot more than I thought we were gonna have from this series, and I am 100% here for it. So let me know in the comments how you guys felt about this episode. I thought it was an absolute banger. I cannot wait to see how this series goes through, and I'm even more excited than ever for this DLC because now we've got the Daima mini versions of Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta. We're gonna get whatever this new Majin is. We're gonna get Glorio. We might get Pansy. We might get Arensu. We might get Goma later on. There's so many things to do. We're probably gonna get Shin as a fighter because we saw him clapping cheeks earlier. There's a lot of stuff that Daima is going to offer us in terms of our gachas, our Xenoverses, our Sparking Zeros, and I am here for it. So thank you guys. I will see you next time. Like I said, if you like the video, like the video. And if you love the video, subscribe. We're on that road to 1,000, and I appreciate all your support. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.